Most insane prison escapes. Thank you, Kenemily, for showing your support. We're glad you left this comment on our 22 creepiest photobombs video. Number 10. Helicopter prison escape. In the province of Quebec, Canada, in 2014, 3 inmates, Denis Lefebvre, Yves Denis, and Serge Pomerleau, pulled off a daring prison escape. The inmates were captured on CCTV at the prison yard of Orsay Detention Center, when all of a sudden the footage shows a helicopter landing. The inmates get in the helicopter and it simply takes off. How did Canadian prison guards not spot a massive aircraft? Just like that, the dangerous Canadian gangsters were on the loose. After 4 days, police still had no idea where they were and how they could have possibly planned this. Interpol eventually issued an orange notice and 190 countries were alerted of their escape. They were found and raided by a SWAT team in an upscale condo in Montreal. Number 9. Murderers on the loose. 2 extremely dangerous murderers used power tools to cut through steel pipes at a maximum security prison facility. The entire city of Dannemore, New York, located near the Canadian border, was on alert when it was declared that Richard Matt and David Sweat, both convicted first-degree murderers, escaped from the Clinton Correctional Facility. Sweat was accused of firing 15 rounds into a deputy, while Richard Matt was accused of kidnapping, murder, and dismembering a body. Police were shocked when they noticed that both prison cells were completely empty. So how on earth were they able to get power tools into prison? Joyce Mitchell, who we see in this photo, was accused of helping the 2 convicts. She also admitted to having close relations with Richard and agreed to pick them up after they had made their escape. For her role in the escape, she'll have to serve several years behind bars. After 3 weeks of an intense manhunt in both Canada and the United States, David Sweat was shot twice by police and survived, while Richard Matt was shot dead, refusing to be taken alive. Number 8. The OC prison escape. Orange County is home to some of the most beautiful beaches in the world, but it's also home to the most recent jail escape in the list. An English teacher that worked at the jail by the name of Nushvaran Ravigi helped 3 inmates escape. She was accused of providing them with an aerial photo in order to help them with their plans. One of the escapees escaped from plumbing tunnels and made their way on the roof by the prison. They then used the classic escape method by using rope braided from bed sheets and rappelled 4 stories from the Orange County Central Men's Jail. Somehow, their escape wasn't even noticed until 16 hours later. The mastermind and a student of Nushvaran was accused of kidnapping and torturing a marijuana dispensary owner. All 4 criminals, including the English teacher, were eventually captured by police after they tried stealing a taxi in San Francisco. Number 7. Vincenzos CEO. Vincenzos CEO, a member of the Sicilian Mafia, is famous for his daring prison escape in Turin, Italy, and for the unbelievable method he used. Cercio was accused of 1 murder and several other crimes in March 2000. The facility was designed in order to prevent outside attacks and not really creative escapes. He was actually able to saw the bars with a piece of dental floss. This seems like something MacGyver would have thought of himself. Dental floss serves more purposes than just daily hygiene. He also then tied his bed sheets together and climbed out the window. Incredible but true. Number 6. Robert Dale Sheppard. Not only can dental floss be made into a saw, but also into a rope. This was also the idea of Robert Dale Sheppard, age 34, who escaped from South Central Regional Jail in South Charleston, West Virginia. This makes him kind of like a criminal Spider-Man. He braided 48 strands of dental floss into a rope about as thick as a telephone wire. He then tied it onto a AA battery and threw it over the chain link fence. He claimed it was really hard to climb, but the rope was actually incredibly sturdy throughout the entire escape. He enjoyed 41 days of freedom and spent most of his time in the woods. He lived like a true mountaineer, eating berries and bathing in rivers. However, he wouldn't be able to keep up this lifestyle for long. He tried robbing a pharmacy and was then captured at gunpoint by police. At least he was able to enjoy a little taste of freedom. Number 5. El Chapo Escape. So what happens when you're an extremely rich drug lord and you get put behind bars? Well, he'll usually have enough money to find someone to help him break out. Joaquin El Chapo Guzman is the notorious head of the Sinaloa Cartel, and he imagined it to escape from prison. An enormous, sophisticated underground tunnel with air vents, electrical lighting, emergency oxygen was built a mile long, and it led directly into El Chapo's prison shower. Here in this photo, you see the aerial image of where the Altiplano Prison is located in comparison to the Colonia Santa Juana Construction site. It's here where the workers covered up the entrance to the tunnel. Here you see authorities look into the entrance, and they must have been shocked that this was actually made. You can imagine that El Chapo was able to bribe someone at the prison, considering the fact that he's a billionaire. The gang spared no expense to assure the return of their leader. Inside there was even a motorbike on rails. In this photo, you see the frustrated kingpin finally apprehended by Mexican soldiers after a fierce gun battle took place. Number 4. The Parkers Breakout. This daring escape by 3 inmates in 1995, by Andrew Roger, Keith Rose, and Matthew Williams, took place at the Parkers Prison, which is located on the Isle of Wight in southern England. These 3 managed to create their own 25-foot steel ladder and even a gun inside a prison metal shop. This really seems like a place that a prison shouldn't have. Remarkably, they even created a key just from their photographic memory. The prisoners were basically able to walk right out of prison. They then had another issue on their hands. They need to get off the island of Wight. Keith Rose, however, was a qualified pilot. The trio then moved to the city of Sandown, where they were trying to steal a plane and get off the island. They were eventually uncovered by an off-duty police officer 4 days after the escape. Number 3. Pascal Payet. This French murderer you see in this photo became notorious for his insane prison escapes involving hijacked helicopters after he was initially charged for the robbery of an armed security van. In October 2001, he managed to escape from the prison village known as Lune. This is located in the French department known as Bouches-du-Rhône. Taking advantage of the fact that the exercise yard was on the roof of the prison, he had his friends pick him up inside a hijacked helicopter. 3 years later, he was sent back to the same prison, and they pulled off the same stunt, but helping 3 other prisoners at this time. He was again captured in Barcelona, and this time the police decided to keep his holding location a secret. His friends broke him out of prison again anyways on the French holiday known as Bastille Day, and flew him into the sunset in 2007. This guy has some good friends, doesn't he? Number 2. The Texas 7. A group of 7 prisoners escaped the John B. Connolly unit near Kennedy, Texas on December 13, 2000. During the lunch period, the 7 men overpowered some guards and tied them up in an electrical room. If anyone came to investigate what was going on, they got knocked out, and this left 4 correctional officers injured. They then reportedly impersonated officers over the phone and gained access to the gatehouse. Soon after, they stole a revolver and pointed at the guard there, demanding the location of the weapons cache. They went on a massive crime spree in order to have access to funds, robbing a Radio Shack in Pearland, Texas. They then robbed a sporting goods store, stealing 40 guns and ammo. A police officer was shot 11 times. 6 of them were eventually captured, and the other one took his own life during a standoff. Number 1. Escape from Alcatraz. Many have attempted to leave the island of Alcatraz, but have failed. Many were shot or drowned in the San Francisco Bay. This notorious prison is known for only one successful attempt. Inmates Clarence and John Aglin and Frank Morris made paper-mache heads, then put them in their beds before they broke out of the prison. On June 11, 1962, they managed to leave the island on an inflatable raft. Where they escaped to, it's still a mystery. Some believe they managed to flee to Brazil, but there's no physical evidence of this. What do you believe?